Yeah, possibly a little bit more refined here as we head into Battleground at #1 in the Best of 5 series. And we'll be heading to Battlefield of Eternity. Zealots with the pick, Bands coming out, Brax's Holdout taken away, as well as Tomb of the Spider Queen.
And Tomb of the Spider Queen is definitely a really good ban on the Zealot side. We were surprised yesterday that Leftovers were willing to even pick the map against Team Liquid, since Team Liquid just has a fantastic track record on the map. They're currently sitting at 6 wins and not a single loss, which is absolutely stellar. And of course, when we're looking at the first pick here, Battlefield of Eternity, it is by far the best map for the Zealots. 10 games played on the map and 7 wins, only 3 losses. So great map for the Zealots to open things up here. Team Liquid themselves have played their fair share of games on Battlefield of Eternity as well, but they're currently sitting at a negative track record, having only 3 wins and 4 losses.
Now, when looking at the draft, we'll see if Phoenix is still that first pick worthy for our teams. With it being Battlefield of Eternity, Hanzo still a priority for a lot of our teams, especially with that nerf not quite being in here. This is that pre-post nerf before it went down to 100% on the Scatter Arrow build, so we should be seeing Hanzo picked up first, and then we might see that Phoenix come out. And I'm kind of excited to see what compositions will be shown off. We did see the double support, as mentioned by Caldor, but what really started to work for Phoenix was look at me type of compositions. Genji, Tracer, being able to dive into a front line and allow Phoenix to kind of shoot from afar.
And we saw that he's also very vulnerable to CC that is being stacked. A lot of teams were trying to target him specifically in those drafts. The first thing happening here, though, is Team Liquid is going back to their old draft pattern. For weeks now, we have seen them to ban out Tracer in every single game. This is not an exception, so immediately Team Liquid getting rid of Tracer. Get used to that. We are probably going to see that in every single game of the series here. Whereas the Zealots ban out Medivh, so a bit worried about Hazorps picking it up first for Team Liquid.
And this has to be a Hanzo. Team Liquid showed they're willing to give away the Phoenix they have to yesterday, and Hanzo on this Battleground just so strong at clearing out those Immortals, so I'm expecting that here from TL. Other options? Could always grab that Garrosh early instead.
Yeah, they had a huge priority on Garrosh, thanks to Sport Billy excelling on it, and we heard Mopsio talk about how he feels this is going to be a battle of the frontliners too. He thinks that he's a superior Garrosh player, and he has a chance today to actually prove that. So we can already tell that Liquid being very hesitant about their first pick here. So even with all the preparations and all the time that they now had, they're currently still discussing, how do we open up here? Is Phoenix something we want? Do we want to go down the Hanzo path? Is it more the tank line, the front line that we're focusing on? So super interesting to already see the hesitation on Team Liquid side.
Yeah, and they go straight into the Garrosh. So Garrosh is now taken. And this is actually where I'm kind of curious to see what Zealots will answer back with. Will they stay with that Zealots? Or stay with the Phoenix, which is becoming a Zealot hero? Or are they going to go straight into the Hanzo, which is something they've loved in the past?
You know, after yesterday, where they had a massive priority on picking Phoenix early, it's a really good question.
Yeah.
And of course, you pointed it out earlier, with Hanzo still being available, and this being Battlefield of Eternity, it's this massive trade-off. What do you do? Do you really want to have Hanzo and just try to burn down the Immortal as fast as you can, maybe protect your own with 4 and then send Hanzo over to do the damage? Or is Phoenix the choice here? Potentially, again, with a double support composition. We know that Zealots and other teams are heavily favoring double supports on this map, depending on their damage dealer. And for now, it's an Avatar composition instead. ADRD picking his hero right away, and Hanzo is making his way into the draft.
Abathur Hanzo controlling the tempo of the map is the plan for Zealots with that first and second pick. I'm a little bit worried they won't get the main tank they want, but of course they can adjust as need be. We can get that ETC later on. Diablo is still a decent choice in this map, unless Team Liquid wants to ban it out. Now Team Liquid has their pickings for support here. You thinking the Malfurion?
I think Malfurion would be a really good choice for them, but Stukov worked also extremely well for Splendor. The one thing that I'm immediately curious about when I see Abathur on the other side is, what do you decide to do on the offlane? Because from Zealot's perspective, their offlaner is going to have a very good time, since we have Abathur there that always shifts the balance of the solo lane pretty heavily. So there's a very good chance that Team Liquid somehow will have to deal with that. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Keep also in mind, the offlane on the side of Team Liquid is Eternal, and Eternal has now taken over the shot calling in Team Liquid, and ever since then they play extremely well. Maiev making it into the draft, as we said before. Heavily prioritized hero by Team Liquid. They have 9 games played with Maiev, and they won 7 out of those 9 games. They're currently sitting at a 78% win ratio with Maiev, which is very impressive, especially if you consider that the average win ratio in Europe on Maiev is only 53%. So Team Liquid definitely excelling at focusing or like creating a composition around Maiev and put Nurok into a spot where he can shine.
I mean, it plays the strength that Nurok talked about in the interview yesterday. They love that Garrosh and Maiev combo, being able to draft out compositions that have a lot of displacement is where they're kind of excelling right now as a team, and Maiev and Garrosh really build into that. You have the silence on top of it, very difficult for Zealots to handle if that pressure is coming their way. And they're going to have to deal with that pressure too. With an Abathur composition, typically if something is coming your way, you want to make sure you have that hat available or you have to disengage completely.
The interesting part about this is already that with Maiev in certain situations can even act as a solo laner at the beginning. The problem is if you have Abathur against you, that's basically shut down right away. So in theory, Team Liquid, depending on the Zealot's next pick, could have also decided of putting Maiev onto the solo lane. With Abathur in the mix, it's very unlikely that that happens. That also explains what Zealots are currently doing in terms of their ban. They still expect like a real solo laner to come through, and it's also true for us. Like, we expect that as well, especially with Abathur here. You need something on that offlane that can hold their own against whatever Zealots are drafting here. And it could still be a Sonya, for example, for Zomany.
Yeah, if you look at the top lane, that's what I'm thinking they're probably going to ban out. Well, they actually banned the Tyrael. I was thinking of that Sonya, the Thrall even the Malthael could be solid bans here. But they take away Tyrael to make sure there's no signification to prevent that combo of them going for the full engage from being disrupted. Yeah,
definitely. And you also brought up another really good point. Thrall is making his way back into the game quite heavily. He's still having some mixed results, but mostly positive. And it's going to be an interesting match for sure. I mean, currently chat also agreeing here as well. 61% currently favoring Zealots over Team Liquid. This is going to be an explosive series, guys. So also make sure that you send us your thoughts on Twitter, #HGC. Send us a couple of tweets there. What do you think about the series? Who do you think is going to win? And we're going to look at those later.
And on top of that, lately we've been having this scenario where the opposing team of Team Liquid always has the higher votes in chat. I want to ask you at home, why are you having such reservations on Team Liquid? Why are you sleeping on them? They're getting a lot of victories. Let us know.
They're still burned from last year.
They're still burned from last year, I guess, because we see this a lot, really. Team Liquid usually on the losing end on this voting, and I want to know why. Why are you doubting Team Liquid? Because they're delivering the wins lately. Regardless, I'm okay with the votes here. 59% to Team Liquid, 41. Sonya comes out, as we mentioned, and that Johanna give a little bit more beefy front line, but also to control that Maiev and Garrosh with the Iron Skin.
No, of course, you have a Sonya with an Abathur hat, so that enhances just the strength that she brings to the table even more. And we have the support pick on the last. How is Liquid going to react to this? What are they going to do on the top lane? That was the main question coming in, and it still has to be answered. And also, damage dealer. We haven't seen Phoenix yet in this draft. This could be the first game where Phoenix is not being picked by any team and not being banned out either. So far, again, yesterday, Phoenix had a 100% involvement rate in the drafts. 3 wins, 4 losses, was banned once. But this could be the first game in Europe where nobody actually thinks that Phoenix has a fit in their composition.
What do you think about Arthas for Eternal here?
It's actually a really good question. We saw a lot of Arthas from particularly Fnatic. They play a lot of Arthas on the map. For Team Liquid, I actually don't know how much Arthas they played on this map. I can check that out in just a second. But Arthas would work fairly well. But it's going to be Phoenix, and we're going to have Thrall. And talking about Team Liquid, they actually played Arthas twice on Battlefield and have won one of the 2 games. So they have played it before. I think you could hold your own with Arthas against Sonya and Abathur at least to an extent. You're not going to win the lane, but that's never going to happen against this setup anyways. But with Thrall having again the poke available, and especially around the stalemates, around the Immortals, I think the lightning poke is something that is very beneficial, because with Arthas and Garrosh, instead you would have to heavily commit to any kind of fight. So now outside of Phoenix, they have a little bit more poke available through the lightning, because Maiev herself, of course, also very melee heavy, so they don't have to fully commit to a fight and can just like wait it out a bit more.
Yeah, I think I like this more, the Thrall over the Arthas. The Arthas to me was a little bit commitment heavy, and I felt like, all right, they're already into the commitment world, but then you look over to Zealots and they have that Hanzo Dragons, they have Johanna Condemn, a lot of grouping that could have been a bit punishing.
But you're not wrong. I mean, if they wanted to fully commit to a fight and just like really try and drive the agenda, Arthas would have been an option, but as you said, Thrall is the safer path to go for. Uther chosen for now. Still thinking about it. I mean, Malfurion was still open. You could have gone into Rega instead. Uther, on the other hand, empowers Sonya even more. So that's a pretty powerful takeaway here. Also, do we have enough to proc Guardian? I guess With Maiev being in, with Garrosh, I would really like the Cleanse to come out again, and with the Divine Shield, you also have another tool not only to empower Sonya, but you have something that you can use whenever Garrosh gets a really good flip off to maybe save the target. It's a heavy cooldown to burn, but depending on the situation, it can be worth it.
I also like the Uther for the Divine Shield into Sonya, because whenever that cage comes out into the Garrosh throw, you can say, alright, Sonya, just defend. Toss her the Divine Shield, you keep your eye on Hanzo, let Hanzo poke it, and then from there, you can assess whether or not you're winning the team fight. So there's a protection here from Zealots, which is something that they've always prided themselves on in the past. And then, of course, you have that Abathur clone coming in later on, too, which will be annoying. We've even seen ADRD pull out a double Uther to bring out those heals. So protection is definitely available for the Zealots. All in all, looking at this draft, I think it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting game here. And for me personally, another hero outside of Phoenix that I'm going to look towards is Thrall again. Liquid played Thrall 4 times. They have 3 wins with Thrall. But Thrall is still a bit of this... I don't want to say he's an odd pick. He's currently already in the meta. He was in the Hero League meta for a long, long time now. But of course, the professional play, HGC, is a bit different. And he has come in a week ago really struggling with the 0-5. But he has found his path. And he's doing well, so I want to see how much he can contribute to a potential victory of Team Liquid here. As we're starting off with game number 1.
Game number 1, on the left in the blue, Zealots. ADRD playing Abathur, Chris on Hanzo, Shad on Uther, Mopsio on Johanna, and Zarmany to play Sonya.
And over to the right side, we have Eternal playing Thrall, Hazops, this time on Phoenix. Stukov played by Splendor, Nurg of course on Maiev, and Sport Billy up at that front line on the Orc, going straight for Garrosh here.
So looking at this, around 4, level 7, Zealots will start to kind of run away a little bit here with the immortal race between Sonya and Hanzo, but Team Liquid has the ability to force fights as they would like. Garrosh sharking around, poking in when possible, but also Maiev, very good at capturing an opponent. Even that Uther that has no real major mobility to get away, pulling him in could be easy kills in the early game. So Team Liquid will be looking for those, and they definitely have that aggressive comp.
Yeah, and of course we still have, oh, nice throw here. Chris immediately getting tethered in. So that's exactly the displacement that Nurg was highlighting in the past, where he said, we really love compositions that favor displacement. We have Garrosh with a quick flip against Hanzo, and then immediately after the tether coming in from Maiev. So really trying to ping-pong the target and take them out. Good job by Team Liquid, and great opening here for him.
I don't know how Sport Billy really does it. It seems like he just walks up to people and is able to throw them. It's very impressive to see. I always feel like when I'm playing Garrosh, people are just always slightly out of range. But Sport Billy, he makes it work. And speaking of making it work, we're having another combo here. Mopsio gets pulled in. Also, let's put out some damage on Mopsio. Gets a little bit of stacks too on top of his level 1 quest here. A total of 4. Nurg going a little bit deep. May have to back up, and Sport Billy will drop the Groundbreaker just to make sure Team Liquid back up.
There's heavy pressure here against Zealots. And of course, one of the reasons is that Zealots are playing an Abathur composition. So they are currently targeting the top lane a bit more with Sonya, but Abathur is helping out as much as he can. Now keep in mind, this is of course the map choice of Zealots. They wanted to go to Battlefield of Eternity because it is one of their best maps, hands down. It actually is their best map. 7 wins, 3 losses. They're doing fantastic here. But at this point, it's Team Liquid running the show at the bot lane with heavy pressure against, once again, Mopsio.
A 3v4 with an out of their hat, and they turn it around. They actually find a kill on Stukov. Sport Billy might just be next. Chris stepping up, getting those auto attacks in, and we'll have a scatter arrow. He pops it in. Only one connects to Sport Billy, able to get away with enough health as Hazops will be able to body block and take that shot.
Great move by Zealots. Team Liquid was very aggressive at that bottom lane, continuously looking for a kill, trying to pressure the wall and maybe get an early tower to just snowball experience slightly towards the first Immortal. But now the exact opposite is happening. Zealots, with that kill, gain a bit momentum at the bottom lane. They still, of course, win the top thanks to Zarmany getting assisted here by Abathur continuously, always shifting the balance on the solo lane. So a very important setup here for Zealots, and good job so far already.
Camp Scrad for both of our teams. Zealots will be pushing the bottom, Team Liquid pushing the top. We actually had Garrosh at the top lane to help try and get a capture on Sonya because she's been so aggressive, but Zarmany, aware that somebody was missing, decided to go ahead and back up. Smart play by him, and Zealots start the bottom where camps do. This is actually going to be a bit of a deadly push, and they'll have an advantage over Team Liquid as Team Liquid has not grabbed their own camp at the top.
Yeah, Team Liquid also, when we're talking about Phoenix again, we have currently on level 1 advanced targeting taken by Hazops, and that is the Statner talent on level 1. In all the games of Phoenix being played in Europe, we haven't seen a different level 1 talent just yet. There's some deviation coming in occasionally on level 4, but oftentimes when you feel you are going to be under pressure, it's going to be that emergency protocol. But once that your shields are depleted, you gain extra 30% movement speed for 5 seconds. That oftentimes allows you to go out of fight, reposition yourself, and then target again. So we're going to talk a lot about Phoenix here throughout the entire weekend. So if you just tuned in, you're going to get a bit of information about the build. So far, Phoenix is sitting at 3 wins and 4 losses in Europe, but still heavily prioritized, or still a big priority for the teams.
Sportbilly gets a groundbreaker coming in towards Zarmany. He's slowed. Can he get the toss? He does get the toss. Thurnal will have a wolf in a couple of seconds. He threw it out earlier. If they can land this kill on Sonya, be a nice pick for them. Haas will have showing away. Finally, Zarmany falls. Mopsio comes up to help, and so does Shad too. Zealots are wanting to fight.
It was a big commitment for Team Liquid, and also a few things missed here, as the spear didn't connect from Zarmany, but he kept himself alive with the help of Abathur for a long, long time. 4 heroes moving to the top to try and confirm that kill, whereas ADRD at the bot lane is now trying to hold off Nurok in particular, who is getting very aggressive here and gets the first tower. But Liquid still is just on par with the Zealots when it comes to experience, as both teams are moving in to try and get the Immortal.
Yeah, now I'm actually a bit curious to see how much damage Hasselabs on that Phoenix can do against an Immortal. In theory, with him being able to go into his other firing mode, he should do a decent amount of damage. Fight breaks out once again. Shaq comes over from the side, and Phoenix can't do damage when he's dead.
He's down. Very well done here by Zealots. And I really like the way that both teams are playing this, because you can see the coordination from Team Liquid. Garrosh at the front line is doing a fantastic job to always throw a target into the silence of Stukov. And there's heavy pressure every single time he gets a flip. But Zealots, they're not impressed by it. They're all, again, happening here. The silence comes out and Garrosh throws them in. So perfect play from Liquid, but it's Zealots who gets the kills. They are targeting always Phoenix, always the squishies, and they find these moments where they can eliminate one of the heroes. So great play by Zealots going up against such a combo-heavy composition that Team Liquid is executing here.
And 7 hits for Chris. Chris going to be a great spot here to poke down some Immortals. Sportbilly doing his best here to position where he can get a couple of scatter shots to hit him instead of the Immortal, but the race is going to be difficult for them. They're going to do whatever they can to try and slow this down, but Team Liquid will go ahead and get a little bit of damage on their own Immortal, getting it down to about half health, but Zealots take away the first Immortal.
And of course, by now with level 7, we have for Phoenix also the combat advantage. So once again, prioritizing Plasma Cutter as the talent. And it is the synergy with level 1 and level 7 here. We have the extra damage against slow targets. And in the past, especially yesterday, we have seen also a lot of compositions that were trying to target Plasma Cutter and the level 7 talent by stacking slows on the side of the other heroes. So that's something to definitely watch out for here. But the Zealots, they are the ones who really attempt the pressure play now, going through that bot lane and attempting to break the wall and potentially even take the fountain or even the keep if they can get a kill here.
This is actually getting a little bit further than they would expect. Going straight for the well, about to be on the fort. A big tether comes out, but Mopsio goes in with a condemn, gets 4 caught in top of it. Team Liquid with the laser trying to clear out anyone that's in the way. Zarmany, though, leading the charge here, drops down the whirlwind and helps out in the fight. Sportbilly will have a throw pretty soon here. Can they toss the target straight over to Phoenix? They need to be careful, though, because Hospital is low on health.
Yeah, so is Mopsio. Mopsio is actually about to fall, and so is Zarmany. Both of them are about to die. The counter kill against Stukov at least makes it a 2-for-1 trade. But Liquid is still holding their own here. They lost the fort though. But always keep in mind that this is an Abathur composition that Zealots are using here. So they will hit a pretty big power spike once level 10 is in play. And we're going to see the ultimate evolution copy. Still, Liquid getting that counter kill here. It was a big immortal, and they also have, of course, a lot of fantastic tools once that their level 10 comes online. The taunt on Garrosh, big for them. The cage as well. And also when we're talking about Phoenix, the damage output that you can execute here once that taunt or the cage come out is pretty significant.
Especially with Earthquake added on top of that, the Plasma Cutter going through, you're going to shred folks with that Plasma Cutter if you're able to get that slow.
And that's what, exactly, that's what we said earlier. Like, if you have Phoenix, you try to somehow bring some tools into play that really help him to get the extra damage through his level 7 talent. And that's exactly what they're doing here. Combat advantage is going to be absolutely fantastic once that Thrall executes that Earthquake.
Now we have a bit of a race here. Zealots push the top lane and Team Liquid pushes the bottom, opening up this keep wall. So far, Zealots are a bit behind, so they're going to have to set up a possible gank here to the south. With Sonya disappearing and the rest of the team being underneath the vision of the fort, Team Liquid will back up and take their trade. Yeah,
Liquid did some significant damage to that keep wall, and that was definitely one of those situations where Zealots realized we have to back now. If we don't, then the wall is going to fall, and potentially we're going to even take damage on the keep itself, and we can't afford to do that. 10 is in for both teams, and there are no shocking talents taken. It's exactly what you would expect here. With Phoenix, of course, we're currently seeing, again, the Purification Salvo, and that's something we have seen in Europe continuously. On the North American side, a little bit different. We have the Planet Cracker here. The North American team is currently trying to execute wombo combos where they lock targets into place. We've seen that with Mosh Pit and then Planet Cracker being used. But on the European side, a very different take on the hero. Purification Salvo being the go-to talent for Phoenix players.
You know, I'm completely biased when it comes to EU, but I'm going to say North America, without Planet Cracker, they're making it look cool. That's all that matters, man. Being stylistic while you're playing.
Yeah.
Poke already happened here from Team Liquid as they're holding this front line. A bit of a dance between the two. This actually favors Zealots really well.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about the North American side. If 4 people run into an ETC mosh pit, then I think you can make anything look cool.
You always got something. A little bit of zing.
Hey, people expect a bit of sass.
A little bit of zest.
Okay? So
after I got on my comment, they're like, wait, where's Caldor? Everyone's got their ears open. No, stop commentating, Trickster. We don't hear Caldor. Combo comes out, tosses his Mopsio, going to be able to put it atop of Shad, but the poke already started to become a nuisance. Look at Chris, already taking this down to at least 3/4 of health.
The interesting thing about Chris is also, with Sonya, Abatha at the front line, and also Mopsio just distracting with these condemns the entire time, Chris can currently do whatever he wants in this game. Like, there's no pressure on him whatsoever. We've been talking about Maiev and about Garrosh, but they have a very rough time getting close enough to him to have an impact here. So Chris is currently just sitting there and dishing out damage continuously the entire time, and Team Liquid has a very tough time stopping him.
Yeah, they're going to have to use their engage that they excel at to eventually force a fight. Hasselhoff's low on shields, though, so they have to be careful. Constant poke comes in. Nurok threatens a little bit here, but not going to be moving in quite yet. Arrow pops out. Phoenix is low. Earthquake on the same time will connect, slowing down the engage from Zealots.
There's a spin to win. Zarmany, on the other hand, he misses the spear, and immediately we are seeing Splendor with a shove. Hazovs himself with the warp, just basically getting outside of the range here. Mopsio also on the run, gets the quick heal, but Team Liquid is starting to look good again. They're looking solid here, going straight for ADRD on the copy, trying to take that down, and now Liquid is on the move. They're slightly behind in experience, but they want to go for that Immortal now.
Starting to poke it here, knowing that clone's not available. They have that 5v4. They have to be careful of a hap, but nothing too crazy should come their way as long as they have the shields on Phoenix. Purification Salvo comes out. It's multiple members. Zarmany is low on health, so we're going to have Hostile step up and get an auto attack. But Mopsio with the clever blind will reduce the damage.
Ah, nice flip again.
Ooh.
The silence is there, and that's the play once more by Sport Billy. He goes in, and they get Sonya. And with Sonya gone, Abatha is also taking an immediate hit here. So great job by Team Liquid getting that kill and now moving in again. And it comes down to that displacement. The exact playstyle that Team Liquid favors right now. Get the displacement into play, try to isolate a target, use the silence on Stukov, and burn them down. And now Liquid in a fantastic spot to get this first Immortal.
Yeah, Sport Billy trying to buy some time, but Chris finally gets on top of it and starts to bring out the scatter arrows. Going to be close, but 4,000 health in favor of Team Liquid. And the second Immortal of the game will head over to TL, and they hit 13.
Really well done here by them. So a great kill, and the fight, especially keeping Phoenix alive, was absolutely crucial for them. Now, outside of that, when we're looking at the level 13 talents, we have now also Uther with a bit of adaptation going for well met here, trying to slow them down even a bit further. We have the auxiliary shields taken by Hazorps. That's pretty much the go-to level 13 talent as well here for Phoenix. So no big surprises here if you watched yesterday's games already. Frostwolf's Grace also taken on the side of Eternal, giving him a bit more survivability. But here comes the taunt, the flip once again. Mopsio in trouble. Zarmany with a flank, trying to go for Hazorps right away. Doesn't quite work out for him, as we are now seeing the shove into the corner. Zarmany's in trouble, but the Divine Shield keeps him alive.
The main issue, too, is the Immortal is still moving forward, so he's also want to get back and try and defend that. It is low on health, but Eternal wants to fight. He's dropped a Wolf, and he hit Zarmany, but he's able to eventually escape. Team Liquid takes down the fort, gets one turret, and backs up.
Hazur with a quick ult here, dropping a bit of extra damage in, as we are seeing Zealots now trying to chase here. Zarmany, of course, needs to be cautious, but at the same time, there's so much transference on Abatha. It's going to do a good job keeping him alive a little bit longer. The flip is there, the cage comes out, the silence is in play, and Zarmany is down. Thrall obliterating Sonya here, as we see Mopsio also in trouble, trying to move away, but Nuruk is already positioned, trying to go for the tether. He gets it. They push Zarmany back in. Here comes the shove, and Liquid loses Stukov as Zealots somehow find the kill in a 4 versus 5 situation.
ADRD on that clone is doing work, finding that kill, looking for another, going in. We'll have the scatter arrow to land it on Sport Billy. Not quite Sport Billy. Ooh, gosh, he is taking some damage, but able to get away low. ADRD trying to chase, but the clone eventually expires. Zealots able to fight back thanks to that kill on Stukov.
Well done here, and it looked really harsh for especially Sonya for quite some time when we saw the displacements from Team Liquid coming in again with another quick tether. But then, as you said, ADRD's clone did so much work, and all of a sudden the Zealots find that kill against Stukov. Even with the shove coming out, there was enough damage to drop Stukov, and once he was dead, without the healer, Team Liquid had to back off, and nearly Garrosh falling as well. Zealots with a great turnaround in this fight, extremely well executed.
These are the games that you love to see. 4 to 5 in kills, 15 and a quarter for both in experience, 2 forts down apiece, moving into the third Immortal phase, absolutely neck and neck.
I mean, let's face it, that's exactly what we expected. I mean, this already makes me happy. We were hoping for a 5-game series. If we're going to get that, time will tell, but we definitely see that neck-on-neck fight that we've been expecting from the two. This is an important series. They are on the same match score, and this can literally be the difference between qualifying directly for the mid-season Brawl or having to go through playoffs, depending, of course, on Fnatic's performance in the upcoming games.
Now, Team Liquid employs the same strategy we saw the last game, but Zealots have changed up a little bit. They're forcing to push in this bottom lane to try and pull Team Liquid down into the open area space, and they actually take the bait. They come in. Zarmi goes in with a spear, jumps on top of Sport Billy. Sport Billy tosses him away, but Hasselhoff with the warp back should be safe enough, especially with Splinter helping with the massive shove.
It was a great throw by Sport Billy, saving Phoenix at this moment, because we had a nice CC stack on Hasselhoff, as we saw first the Blessed Shield coming out, and then also Hanzo's arrow connecting, and then very well done here with a quick throw by Garrosh, making sure that they couldn't burst him down. Both of the teams closing in on level 16 at this point, but of course Zealots just committed a lot of resources to that particular play, and we are seeing Liquid now trying to at least push in, because they of course lost the halftime show already, so they need to move up, they need to step up here and try to execute some pressure.
That was such a brilliant play from Zealots, being able to push Team Liquid back, buy themselves about 5 to 8 seconds for scatter arrows to pop out, clear out the Immortal, and now they have a massive advantage on their opponent. 16 hits for Team Liquid, and Team Liquid is showing a little bit of fierceness as they're attempting to try and force a fight. Zarmi taking some damage on the bottom left while Hasselhoff continues to drop down that laser, but the Immortal slowly getting chunked thanks to Thrall on that poke.
Hasselhoff's currently trying, of course, to also get his stacking going on level 1. We have the Arsenal Overcharge on level 16 for Phoenix now. We've seen that talent several times now yesterday. It's all about the ability cooldown reduction thanks to your auto attacks. That's what he's currently trying to do. Put even more of an emphasis on the Plasma Cutter. But Zarmany again on Sonya in trouble. Spin to win. That's the name of the game here as Abathar comes in and tries to help out with so much transference. Even the Divine Shield to save Zarmany. They still keep him alive for so much longer than expected. But Sonya is still in trouble and finally goes down as Hasselhoff completes the kill with Phoenix. Gets the second one against Uta. Team Liquid on the move forward.
An absolute lesson on stutter stepping there from Hasselhoff, dodging on the arrow, working in those auto attacks, finally able to secure a kill. Zarmi lit for a pretty long time, but Thrall, he gets burned down pretty quickly. Scatter arrow comes out, Hanzo finds a pick, and somehow Zealots with only 3 members able to secure a kill.
Zealots, every time you think they are dead in the waters, they come back and get that kill. The double Hanzo play that we're just seeing here from Abathar's copy and Chris, totally worth it for them. Stun against Stukov here was locked down in the Immortal Circle, but again Team Liquid on the march forward. Still a 4 versus 3 situation, and of course Abathar has now lost his copy. Therefore, he can't utilize it anymore. But here comes the Blessed Shield. They're going for Hasselhoff. The warp comes out as he moves back, and again Smopsio at the front line attacked here. But it's pretty impressive how the Zealots are still in play, and they are back on the map. They have 5 heroes back here. They haven't lost the Immortal yet. In fact, they are still in the lead.
And Chris is about to have an arrow up pretty soon, so Team Liquid's going to be careful. Now, they have all 5 here as soon as Thrall's able to show up, but they might actually lose them before Thrall even gets here. Nurok goes in, gets a tether on the Immortal, but unable to pull anyone in, and the Immortal is actually going to go to the Zealots.
Zealots claim the Immortal. It's absolutely crazy. They lost 2 heroes. They were still holding their own, defending, and then moving back in and claiming Immortal number 2 on their side.
Incredible.
Well done here. And I mean, it is a cardinal rule in Heroes of the Storm that you never want to fight against a talent advantage. You never really want to fight against an opponent that outnumbers you. But Zealots, they are able to find these kills. Thanks to Abathar, also thanks to the way that they've been playing this year. Incredibly well done. They find opportunities and they take them. And now they are trying to reap the benefits. They're going to the top lane and they're going to push for keep.
There's still a half shield here, and this keep is going to take some damage, might go down even. Team Liquid doing their best to clear it out. The poke from Thrall is going to help out here in keeping Zarmany at bay, but remember, a clone should be up pretty soon too for the Zealots. So if they want, they can fully commit to the idea of pushing into this keep. Damage finally connects as the Immortal gets straight there. Narok doing his best here to drop a Warden's Cage to help out with the peel so they can focus the Immortal.
Hazops in the meantime on the advanced targeting is sitting at 55 stacks already, and he's racking them up even more. Plasma Cutter doing work, and ADRD nearly losing the copy, but still kept in play for a bit longer by Shat, so that ADRD can drop a few more arrows. The keep is already down, and Team Liquid now on the back foot as they just lost the first keep of the game, and they are half a level behind the Zealots. 18.5 versus 18-14 Liquid.
I mean, they had to burn multiple heroics just to try and save a keep, and they didn't even succeed at that. The pressure from Zealots, a little too much, especially with Hanzo coming in there on the Ultimate Evolution clone, constantly poking, putting pressure on Phoenix. Phoenix doesn't want to go into that trade because you're going to lose out on that trade, so you see him constantly kiting away. Team Liquid now has catapults pushing in this top lane and are in a weird position to make a play, and they're looking for one. They run straight to their opponent's night camp, and they're going to try and force a fight.
Yeah, Team Liquid is getting aggressive now. They are trying to make sure that they are forcing fights while Zealots don't have level 20. And it's a really good decision to make from their perspective. They need to make some plays happen right now. They can't wait out until Zealots claim that extra talent. So now is the time to fight from Team Liquid.
And Clone's down too, so that's why they're trying to force this. Sport Billy steps up and he's going to control the point. He tosses Mopsio away and he'll be able to steal it away from their opponents. And Harmony pops the Wrath as well, so this should be the cue for Team Liquid to back up.
Yeah, Liquid immediately moving back. Their idea is get experience. Try to claim experience, try to take some of the tools away from the Zealots so they can't use them in the big fights now. But it's, of course, a pretty tricky battle here. Also, when we're talking about the level 16 talents, we haven't really pointed out Eternal's choice yet. We've seen it yesterday. Alpha Wolf taken, something that you oftentimes see against Diablo, against high hit point heroes. In this case, targeting Johanna in particular, trying to get the extra percentage damage in. And of course, there's also the passive to be considered. The extra root that you have on your Feral Spirit. So trying to lock targets down a little bit more for heroes like Phoenix and also Maiev to get a bit more damage in.
An extra 1.5 seconds. Absolutely wonderful. You're able to focus down a target. It gives more time for Phoenix to work in those auto attacks. Maiev can move in and get the tether if she wants to. Now, taking away those night camps away from Zealots allows Team Liquid to set up on a defensive position here. But the thing is, time is ticking. Abathur in different lanes, soaking that level 20. Zealots can play the slow game here. Team Liquid has to get aggressive, and you see them moving towards the opposing Immortal.
Team Liquid is in a really dire spot now. They need to somehow do something about the Immortal here, but Zealots, they are absolutely willing to wait and just see what happens once the 20 hits. And the problem is the Zealots have Abathur. Abathur can just literally jump on both of the lanes now, or at least like push out the lanes a bit, get the experience for 20. So Team Liquid is on a clock here, and it's not a good situation for them to be in. The poke battle is also heavily in favor of Zealots now, thanks to Chris just dropping damage left and right, and 20 is going to drop soon. So Liquid, they're trying to make that play. They're trying to at least get the shields down, because there's a good chance they're going to lose this Immortal after all. They're going to try and see if they can get a kill, but if the Zealots continue that play, and they're trying to on Hazops, the arrow missing though, but here comes Abathur, double Hanzo, dropping Phoenix, and Hazops is dead.
Eternal goes straight for Hanzo. He has to make a play here, but Chris is able to kite away perfectly. Even with the sounds from Splendor, it just wasn't enough. Chris with the double hop goes into Splendor, looks over to Sport Billy as well. There's another kill, and Zealots clean up TL.
Who needs an Immortal if you can just go for the core? 4 kills. And Hazops actually dodged the Hanzo arrow, but the problem is it didn't even matter since we still had Hanzo plus the Abathur copy on Hanzo, dropping the damage directly on him, and he just imploded. He had absolutely no chance of survival here, and now the Zealots on the move. With Abathur, with Sonya, they're just going for the core. Hanzo, of course, delivering here as well, as the Zealots are going in against Team Liquid. Yesterday, they had trouble against Trick Esport, but today in game number 1, they are delivering. Team Liquid losing the game as the Zealots claim a victory on Battlefield of Eternity. Their best map hands down, and they are taking the lead in the best of 5 series.
And what a great way to start our Saturday. Honestly, a great match between these two on Battlefield of Eternity.